Ooh, and here we go. I was just checking out trade rumors right now, and it looks like the Montreal Canadiens are working the phones. Man, they have been in on a lot. I mean, well, they just did the Line A trade, but this team is apparently looking to accelerate their rebuild, quote unquote. And after the Line A trade, which to me, I don't know about you guys, but that came completely out of left field with me. I was like, what? But honestly, I think it's going to be a good move. I think if you have a motivated Line A, he's a questionable player in some circumstances. But if you do have a motivated Line A, and a Line A that's getting minutes and playing, and I mean, we've already seen him play good in the Canadian market before, then why the hell not? I mean, anyways, yeah, but about their blue line, they are looking for a right shot player to accelerate their rebuild, according to this article. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder what names would be on the trade market right now. Like, could an Aaron Ekblad be out there? I mean, now that's kind of complex. Yes, I know, because Aaron Ekblad is in the final season of his, contract. Perhaps they could just get him in UFA and sign him. And then there's the issue of if you bring him in and it's not with a contract extension, then maybe he could just leave. Those are all massive issues to this. I understand. However, I just think an Ekblad would look really, really, really good on their blue line. This article was talking about, well, they don't know what's going to happen with David Savard. And I was like, I like David Savard, actually. He's a pretty good player. But I was like, why don't you just try to keep David Savard? Like, why don't you just open up contract discussions with David Savard? Now, I think that the Montreal Canadiens need more than a David Savard. I do think that Ekblad would look really good on their blue line. Like, if you look into his minutes, he's played like at least 20 minutes. I mean, the past 3 seasons, he's played like 24, 23 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, he's a big minute munching guy. He's proven that he can play a big role in a Stanley Cup winning team and go on a run. I mean, that is the exact player that you want. Now, it depends on if he would be willing to sign with the Montreal Canadiens. Like, that's a big thing, right? Obviously. When I was looking at the top trade candidates, he to me stood out as a player that would make sense, according to this article. Now, they didn't mention any specific players that the Montreal Canadiens were going after. I'm just really spitballing on this. And don't get me wrong, there's issues with the Ekblad thing. Like, you absolutely don't want to bring in a player that isn't going to stick around, like, long term. But he's not even that old, right? Like, it's not like Ekblad is, like, a super old player or anything like that. Like, this is a player that they could, feasibly accelerate their rebuild. I mean, they have Demidov, who is just, oh, man, I can't believe they got Ivan Demidov. He's going to absolutely destroy the KHL this year. I mean, they got, Suzuki, Line A, I mean, they have so many good young players. Cole Caulfield is probably going to have a bang-up season. I think that they're going to be able to score goals. They absolutely need to improve their defense. Like, they moved Caden Gooley over to the right side, and they've been experimenting with that. Like, I really don't like the look of that. I don't like having off-handed shooters shooting, or like, I think handedness matters right-left. I'm a big believer in that. You could disagree on that. Like, and yes, some players that do happen to shoot left can play on the right. I know the Leafs had Brody on that right side for the longest time, and you're like, okay, whatever. But I personally think that handedness does matter. I think it makes sense. And here's the thing, if you're going to make a trade, make a trade. Like, go all in. Like, make a trade for a player that can be a difference maker. I mean, according to this article, they are trying to, quote, accelerate their rebuild. Why not? You got to go for it at some point. Honestly, like, you just got to put up or shut up at some point. Now, this trade rumor is from Marco D'Amico. He's saying that they are working the phones. So, who knows what that means, though? That could mean a trade come in the next 3 to 6 months or come in a month. I'm going to be really interested to see what teams are going to be doing on the waiver wire. I mean, we have Columbus. That's an interesting team to watch. I think that LA, the Kings, are going to be an interesting team to watch. Like, what are they going to do? They have some injuries up front. I'm really interested to see when it comes to other team like the Maple Leafs. What are they going to do with Nick Robertson? This is going to be an interesting start of the season. It usually is, but what exactly is going to happen at the start of the season? What teams are going to make trades? I would love the Montreal to make the playoffs and play the Leafs again. But I mean, not that stupid COVID whatever thing. I mean, an actual real series with fans in the building. I'd like to see that team make the playoffs. I think all original 6 teams should all make the playoffs. The playoffs are just better when you have those teams that make the playoffs, in my opinion. Anyways, I am going to leave the video there. I just wanted to touch on the Montreal Canadiens. Tell me your opinions. What do you think the Montreal Canadiens should trade for? What does it make sense? Like, I know what I just said has holes in it. I'm not saying it's a perfect thing. Like, yes, he could leave in UFA. You might have to give up assets, blah, blah, blah. I get it. So give me your criticisms of that. Tell me what you think. Who should they go after? If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would appreciate it, guys, and have a great day. Goodbye.